This is the Born Ludwig Year One podcast.
Professor Dr. Benedict Wilmes from Germany, one of my, or maybe my longest time friend in orthodontics. We met now more than 20 years ago. And today it's not about tabs, not about benefit, not about sliders, maybe a tiny bit. It's more about the person who is Benedict Wilmes besides being an orthodontist. Hi, thanks for joining.
Hi, Björn. Good to see you.
See, when we met, I saw you as an oral surgeon, orthodontist, and lecturer. And then over the years, we came into some conversation, and you told me your background comes actually from sports. So what was that about?
Well, my background comes from sport. I don't know, but sport has always played a major role in my life, more or less. As you know, I'm very tall, or as most of the orthodontists know, I'm very tall.
Mhm.
So I'm 6'10" in meters. It's 2 meters and 5. So I was very early into sports, especially playing basketball. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I didn't start basketball at the age of when I was super young. To be honest, when I was super young, I was a football player.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played for many, many years, at least 5 or 6 years. I played, what we say, soccer or football. Yeah, and every weekend I was in a team. And when I turned maybe 13, 14, I didn't like it so much anymore.
Uh-huh.
And from the partner of my brother, my elder brother, she was in a basketball club, so they asked, why not come to basketball? Just try it. And that's the reason why, just by chance, I ended up in playing basketball.
Yeah, but you played quite high, so not like regional, like a local hero. You stepped up like in the highest German league and were more or less playing professional.
Yes, even though basketball, of course, changed a little bit over the last
Yeah.
maybe 20, 25 years. So at that time, it was still possible to play in the first division in Germany and do something for your head, yeah, to study. So for 6 years, I played in the Bundesliga in Germany, and I earned some money, but I always did my dentistry studies at the same time. But for 2 years, I just played basketball. Yeah, so for 2 years, I was a professional player, and for 4 years, I tried to do both. Yeah, dentistry and basketball. Yeah.
When I look at myself, since we know each other, I also have a background in sport. I was fit, and then I was unfit. I gained weight, I lost weight. For me, it was always up and down and up and down from 70 kilos to 100 and back and forth. But when I look at you, you always remain the same. You always look the same. You're always fit. You're always in shape. How did that come? Did you never stop doing some sports, or is it like a super G, or are you very strict with your dietary, or how do you maintain so fit since so many decades?
Very good question, to be honest. I don't know. Probably it's the genes. Additionally, I don't like to eat so much, to be
Okay.
honest. Yeah, I like food, but I don't eat. At one situation, I don't like to eat so much. Secondly, I do sports every day. Maybe this
Daily?
is also the reason. Every day, sometimes jogging, sometimes go to the gym, etc. Maybe these 3 reasons. Genes, then I'm very tall. Sports, and I don't eat so much food, to be honest. Yeah.
So no food addiction, no chocolate or no chips.
Of course, I do eat chocolate, but of course, it depends on how much. Yeah. And if I eat too much, I don't feel comfortable anymore.
Okay.
You know these situations. If you see, oh, wow, this is super good food, eat, and this is what our mind, what our body is telling us: eat as much as you can, because
Yeah.
maybe for 3 weeks you don't get anything anymore. This is what we learned from our from the mid ages, from the 1,000 years ago. Yeah, so. But after you have eaten so much, you don't feel comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What food would be tempting for you? Like now?
What do you mean?
What food would be tempting? Like more salami, or more some vegetables, or more chocolate, or it
I like
depends.
everything a little bit. Yeah. We talked about Celsius, so
Yeah.
it depends on the amount makes the poison. Yeah. I don't know the exact quote, the Greek quote in English, but it depends on how much you eat something. Like everything, it depends on how much you do something. If it's too much, it's too much. Yeah.
In the highest tide, when you did professional sports, you trained daily? Did you train daily, like one session or two sessions, or
Daily, sometimes twice a day.
twice a day?
Yeah. So in the morning we went to the gym to shoot. Yeah. 500 shots, yeah, in the morning, and sometimes in the gym in the morning, and in the evening you have practice with the whole team, and you practice the team basketball. Yeah. So during my 2 years of basketball, there was training sometimes twice.
I think the first project we did together was a book, which is hopefully not available anymore because we are both not so proud of that book, and a lot of things has changed since. But you already at that point you had a lot of publications, and you keep publishing every quarter, very important articles. Though, is it related to sports because you train daily, you had the structure, you had seasons? Did you transfer this discipline into publications and your orthodontic professional life?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. This is the reason why to do every day something. But as you know, I have been in academia for many years. So, of course, the main focus was not on treating as many patients as possible. So I had the time to do some research, to plan studies, and to write papers. You need time for good things. You need some time. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But you spend a lot of time. I mean, how many publications do you now have? 250 something?
I don't know. Depends on if you also count the German papers that are not on PubMed, etc. But if you also use the count and take these ones, at least 250 years. Yeah.
Makes sense.
But I think that's an interesting time now because in the last 20 years, many new things appeared in the orthodontic field. So I did not publish just to get one more paper. I did publish because I thought there is something new and maybe others are interested. I think this is also a motivation for you, right?
Yeah.
Because I know some researchers that say, oh no, I need some impact points. We need papers. But sometimes there is no news. There's nothing special, nothing super interesting. And for me, it was a little bit vice versa. I saw, wow, we can do this, we can do that. This is new, digital, interesting workflow, etc., etc. And yeah, that's the reason why my idea, let's share these ideas to grow our knowledge in orthodontics.
Yeah, but basically you started sharing first some clinical ideas, mostly Journal of Clinical Orthodontics. You have one of the key articles which are most frequently downloaded, especially interchangeable abutments. I think that was a big breakthrough. Also the hybrid Hyrex, it looked so simple. But finally I think it's, from my perspective, in my everyday life, the best MAPI you can have. Yeah. So these were your first steps in orthodontics, sharing how to do. And I think this is what we all love about you. It's not so much statistics and not too complicated, but you can relate to your publications in everyday life.
If I can correct you, Björn.
Yeah, please.
My first papers were interestingly not clinical at all.
Not? Okay.
No, nobody knows this research. But for instance, if you go to PubMed and look for my first papers, the first papers where there was no bracket, no case. The first papers were about mini implant stability. Yeah,
Okay.
because I came from oral surgery. I was trained as an oral surgeon, and then the things with the mini screws came up. I've been to some conferences in Asia. I learned from the Asian doctors, and I thought, wow, first and most important point in Europe, and especially in Germany, is that this works.
Yeah.
That means the mini screw must be stable. Yeah, because in Asia, maybe if you have a mini screw failure, you can say to the patient, "Oh, let's take another one." In Germany, this is not possible. The patient will say, "Oh no, forget it. I'm going to look for another doctor. I'm looking." Yeah, and so mini screw stability. This was my first research topic, and I published a lot about this topic, at least 20 papers, and this was, in Germany, we call this Habilitation. This
Yeah.
was my main habilitation topic. Internationally, you would call it PhD, but it's a little bit more like a PhD, a special thing that is just possible in Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Yeah. So first topic was not clinically, it was mini screw stability. And this is why we ended up in the palate, because you see right there by far the highest mini screw stability. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. This is the best ability, and I think your background from sports and from oral surgery made you this complete orthodontist because you are very disciplined and you have a broad overview.
So it's a little bit different in each and every country from my point of view. Yeah.
Okay.
So the more you travel, the more you see different opinions, not just from orthodontists, but also from patients. Yeah. So I think not just in our professional life, but also in our private life, traveling mostly enriches our knowledge and our experience. Yeah.
For me, I can say what influenced me the most as a German were the South European countries, because they are so different to us. When I look to Italy and Spain, I always like to make treatments more beautiful because we are so pragmatic. Which countries influence you the most when you travel, where you say, wow, that made me the better Benedict Wilmes? Or gave me a different perspective?
If I travel to Traben-Trarbach, yeah, this makes me a better Benedict Wilmes because I always see so many new things, interesting things. Yeah, this is my favorite country.
Yeah, we had a lot of travels. I remember we went nice trips together with South Africa already now 12 years ago. That was wonderful. Last year, Brazil, the World Federation of Orthodontics, was a nice trip together. So I think besides sport, being allowed to see abroad, it's really wonderful. It's a gift. I think we can be fortunate to have done that.
For sure. Yeah, and it's not, if you travel to a conference anywhere in the world, it's not like visiting this country as a tourist, because
Yeah.
you speak to the locals, they share their ideas. Yeah. So I think this enriches our view a lot more than compared to usual relaxing tourist trip. Yeah.
And when I see myself over the years, I'm compared to you way more emotional. You know, I'm at times I'm very calm, at times I'm understanding, then I'm a bit more angry. And that happens also to the profession. I agree with things, I disagree, but when I look at you, you are more constant. You keep your track more easy, and often you calm me down. How does it come that you constantly you keep your track doing calmly and don't change so much? Is this your nature?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
freak out at times? I mean, I never saw you like being angry or shouting or
Yes, of course, I'm emotional as well, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I have good emotions, I have bad emotions. Maybe I don't communicate them so much. Secondly, I have seen so many difficult situations in my life. Yeah, in not just in orthodontics, also in sports. We lost games, we won games. So I'm used to manage trouble. Yeah,
Mhm.
I used to get in touch with difficult situations.
Yeah.
So at the end, yeah, we will, I'm not so much looking for problems and to be sad. I try to be looking for solutions. So always try to raise your head and go for it. Yeah, find a solution and don't. Yeah, of course I do have emotions, but maybe, yeah,
But
I try to see it more relaxed. Yeah.
one thing I have seen a few times which made you sad, maybe at times even a bit angry, that some of your innovations were not so recognized or people took credit for it because I mean we were very early on. A lot of your innovations come out of 2004 and like more than 20 years ago. Let's just stick with the hybrid Hyrex. Then later people that I invented Marby or did things and rarely gave you the credit you deserved. Is that maybe the most painful thing for you in orthodontics that at times, yeah,
Well, actually, I think yeah, this makes me indeed. You're absolutely right. This is maybe the only time when I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Maybe sad is not the correct word. Disappointed
Disappoint. Yeah.
because we both were so early. We worked so night. When I was young, yeah, I stayed at the university many evenings until 10, 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for many, many years, I would say 10, 15 years, we worked so much to do steps forward, to find out new things. We tried our best. We did so hard. Yeah. And if there is now somebody after hard work of us, yeah, coming out with an appliance and giving it maybe
New name.
a new name and say, I have something new. This is for me a little bit disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think everybody would understand this, yeah, because in our field we don't have so many patents, yeah.
Yeah.
We
True.
don't want to fight we don't want to fight which is other, yeah. So we have shown everything very open from my point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shared it on congresses. We shared it in low evidence, low important journals that everybody can see. Well, there's maybe an interesting clinical approach. And I think then it's at the end fair enough if colleagues say, wow, this is the idea of Björn Ludwig. This was the idea from Benedict Wilmes. So I like these lectures. And I think you are the master in this, Björn, yeah, to mention and to give credits to Ravinanda, etc., etc. And this maybe gives a glue between the different opinions and different lectures.
Yeah, but it came from me, I never personally, I had not any great innovation. I was
Mhm.
fortunate to follow all of you very early and be exposed to you and then copy a bit and put it together like a nice cuvee of wine. And in the beginning, I did not understand your disappointment or others' disappointment because, nobody ever has stolen something from me because I had no innovation. But over the time, I feel all of you. And then you see we got older together. Then you burn lifetime. You burn lifetime sitting night shifts. And you have not like 20 super ideas in your life. Maybe you have 5. And then I think even the social media time now get a bit ignorant. People are more ignorant. They are maybe even more disrespectful, copying things. So I always would like to defend you and I see you and I see others. And I think it's important that we respect and value these pioneers. And I think you're absolutely okay to have a certain disappointment. And yeah, I'm at times really sorry for that. But for me, you're the inventor of the hybrid Timex, on the Bennett slider, the benefit system. Let's come to the benefit meeting. It is soon. When will it be? Is it in 2 weeks or 1 week?
It's today is
Today
Tuesday,
is
right?
2nd of
Tuesday?
June. 2nd of June.
Yeah, so it's 19th and 20th of June, so 2.5 weeks to go. Yeah. Huh?
How many meetings did you do up to now? Is it 15?
This is number 15, yes.
Number 15. How did the idea came up just for the younger ones? Because now we have a generation being a bit younger than us. So the benefit meeting was there forever, but for sure it wasn't. So you had your implant system, you had your articles, you have wonderful children, you have so many things, you have your sports career. How did you come to the idea, let's make a conference?
So actually, I don't know when it came up. There were some user meetings. I think Dirk Wiechmann did a user meeting. Is this right?
I think so.
Yeah, he started very early as well, and I was impressed by this idea that everybody is starting with something, and if you start with something new, like TADs, like aligners, like lingual braces, anything you start with, you first start and see, wow, it's working, but then you see also some problems, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the best thing is let's gather and share what works, what does not work, how to solve problems. And I think this is the reason for this, yeah, to ask your friend, your colleague, how do you do this? I had this problem. So to eliminate these problems, yeah. And this is the
I
reason
think that
why.
meeting now get legendary, but let's talk about numbers. You started maybe the first meetings were 50 people, 100, something
At
like that.
50 more
50.
50
50.
and We started very small. I think you have joined many of those meetings. Yeah. I would assume almost every user meeting. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. And now we have more than 500. Yeah. So, and of course it became internationally. The first meetings were in German. Yeah. Then we had a couple of years where we had a translation from German to English, but this was always a little bit, you lose some information if you have translation. Yeah. And now we just, everything is in English. Yeah. So it's very clear, like the European orthodontic meeting next week, everything is in English. Yeah. The brochures, the lectures, the slides. If you have different languages, in which language do you design the slides? Yeah. So this is always a problem. So since maybe 8 or 9 years, it's just in English and that's it. Yeah.
I remember when we had the slides partially German and partially English, and now it's mostly English or no text at all.
Yeah. We should not have so much text on our slides anyway.
It's done. It's gone. How many hours do you spend for the meeting per week?
0.
No.
Since now.
No.
I have to start now preparation, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah? So luckily, we do have, of course, a company that manages all the registered doctors that want to register. So they are doing all the job. I have a lecture at this meeting. I have to prepare this, but before we have the Dublin meeting, the European meeting, so I will more have a look at my lecture in Dublin than for the user meeting. Yeah. So I should start to prepare, to be honest. Yeah.
So soon, I know, I mean, maybe it's top secret, but soon you step into your own private practice. And then for sure, I have to ask you, you did the sports, you got an oral surgeon, an orthodontist, a professor, an academic, publishing, your meeting, everything. It was a long career up to now, a long career and so many things. Would you do these things again if you would have known how exhausting it is, how at times painful, sure, rewarding, but would you do it again?
I don't know, but I think it was an interesting life. It was exhausting, but what is the alternative? Yeah, to do nothing, to relax all the time, to go only on vacation. I think if you drink your cappuccino in your favorite cafe, this makes only fun. And you can only enjoy it if you have the feeling I deserved it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you start drinking coffee in the morning, then go to the next cafe in the evening, you go for dinner and there is nothing. What was your job and what you're living for in between? I think there's a big emptiness from my point of view. And maybe that's the reason why I always try to deserve my coffee.
The same for me, you know, I train almost every day. Because after I feel I deserve the food or I deserve to rest, and many years I felt the work is a bit of a burden, but it came recently that is for me, I'm grateful that I'm allowed to work, and I think I would keep coming even if I would have enough money, because it gives me some sense in life, and I feel better, and I deserve then to go to bed and so on. Yeah. I agree with you at that, and in that regard. We have a new postgraduate student, Migla, and I asked her about her character and so on, and the whole team agreed she is an optimist, absolutely an optimist. And I questioned myself, what am I? And I'm not an optimist. So how would you characterize yourself? Are you an optimist, a pessimist? Who are you as a character? Seeing brighter side, or does it depend on the weather?
I try to be an optimist.
Okay.
But sometimes I'm not so good in this, yeah. But I think it works better if you see positive in the future, positive in projects, etc., etc. Yeah. And you will, of course, we're not working by ourselves. We all have friends, colleagues joining our path in life. And I think most of the human beings around you, they like to be with somebody together that is an optimist, that is spreading optimism. And so that's the reason why, I work to be an optimist, but I'm not always successful. this is, I think, human. Yeah.
Okay, to the end of our podcast, can you give us a small glimpse about your near professional future, if you want to? What are you
Sure.
heading to? What are you heading to? What's you have something? What are you doing?
Good question. As you know, I've been at the university for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was at the university as a professor until October last year,
Mhm.
and now I'm in a private office. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I bought this office, so from July 1st, this will be my own office here in Düsseldorf Harbor. And there, of course, if you can still remember, there are many things to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
organizing employees, etc., etc. You need a new telephone number, etc. So this is what I'm doing now a lot, to be honest. Yeah.
How does it feel? Is it more like you are excited or also a bit, yeah, scary?
I'm not scared.
No.
It's exciting, but sometimes it's, of course, I still like to write paper. I just finished a paper this morning. So sometimes I think it's just too much.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of lectures, organizing my own meeting here in Düsseldorf, seeing patients. I do have many patients, I think, for German full-time academic person. I had so many patients. I think I was one of the professors in Germany with most of the patients. And I still have these patients, of course. So sometimes I just think it's too much. So I'm excited, but sometimes maybe the workload is a little bit too high.
We talked about that many times that we from time to time we are close to burnout, both of us. Not luckily not always at the same time, but we see it at each other. But somehow we manage to never really break down completely. Isn't it true? We maybe the sport kept us going even when the times were hard.
Sure. I think one very important thing is that we are doing sports, we get our mind a little bit free, yeah, because the main problems are that we have problems with our mind and thinking too much, and I think sports can help us to overcome, yeah, overthinking.
Yeah. So thank you for taking your time in your exciting phase, US conference, benefit meeting, opening a private practice, busy. And even more, I mean, now we know each other almost 25 years, and then we are still in such a good contact, besides frequently disagreeing. And I think this is rare between two alpha male, then they still keep a very friendly contact. Even if they disagree at some points. I love that. I think that's unique.
For me, this is also very important. So I'd like to thank you a lot as well.
Good luck for the next few weeks. And if you need me, you have my WhatsApp.
I for sure need you. You're warmly invited to come to Düsseldorf for coffee or anything if you want to, or a little bit shopping. Yeah, there's a
Shopping.
nice shopping street. Yeah,
The shopping street I enjoy and time. It was for me really the benefit meetings was the best meeting in my life. There were so many good meetings, starting small, getting bigger. It always feels like a family meeting. You really did an excellent job, especially with the location you have now. That this is super location. I can strongly recommend to anyone. The location is spectacular.
and I never forget the year when you gathered some friends and you came here by bicycle. Yeah,
It was a
with
nice one.
some colleagues driving a little bit faster, some a little bit slower. So I think you had your fun
Do you remember
driving here.
when Sharad from South Africa, he was so overheated that
Yeah,
we had to cool him down in noise at the ski hole. He almost collapsed. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, there was always meeting-wise, not only good decision. Remember the year, I think it was 2019, we made a joint meeting with the European Back Society. I was the organizer. I think I created more or less a little disaster. But yeah,
No, it was not a disaster. It was also a nice venue, nice meeting. There was no big stress. Of course, they're two
not the best.
different. Yeah,
It is how
yeah.
it is.
It worked out.
It's a good sentence for the end. It is how it is. The best sentence from Benedict Wilmes. I say it at least once a day.
Very
Because
good.
it's super. Yeah. It's a good
So,
conclusion.
nice
Thanks,
to see you.
Benedict.
Good to see you. Pleasure.
Good to see you. It is like it is.
It is like it is.
I stumble. Bye.